Okay, I've got 5 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order today, Monday, April 11th, 2022. Roll call, we have Selectman Howdy Goodwin, Eric Eaton, Mackenzie Jewett, Kevin Buck, myself, Jamie Thurlow, Town Manager Jesse Dunbar, Town Clerk Katie Danduran, and Town Attorney James Collier. Adoption of agenda, is there anything anyone would like to change on the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay, we have approval of minutes. We have the minutes from the 28th and 31st.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of March 28th, 2022.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from March 28th, 2022. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of March 31st, 2022.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from March 31st, 2022. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, approval of warrants. We don't have a meeting like every week, and we start to have a stack of warrants again here. Well, down to like one each time. Warrant 95 is $9,605.10. 96, $24,280.51. 97 is $967.16. 98, $94,620.94. 99, $6,603.12. 100 is $10,160.94. 101, which is $37,645.74.
Make a motion to approve warrants 95 through 101.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve warrants 95 through 101. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, regular business. First thing we have is the Southwest Harbor Tremont Ambulance Service memorandum of understanding.
So I received a request from the Southwest Harbor Tremont Ambulance Service for your consideration of signing this MOU. There hasn't been a formal written agreement between either town and the service all these years. Service Chief Andrew Braylon is here, can elaborate more, or if you have any questions for him, but they dropped off this proposed memorandum between the service and the town of Tremont.
Do you have anything you'd like to say first? Sure.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Andrew Brayley. I'm the Service Chief and Director of Southwest Harbor Tremont Ambulance. Like Jesse said, just kind of a formality to it. It's never been there. It's kind of been a handshake agreement, so we're looking to solidify a little bit more with it, leaving it open-ended on that. So it says kind of whatever the town officials and the people approve in a manner of support for us as well. So it is kind of generic in that regard. Do you guys have any questions for me?
I don't think I have any.
Seems pretty simple.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unrelated to that, I want to thank you all for the approval of the ARPA funding to support our crews that responded. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All
thank
do.
you.
Yep.
I make a motion to authorize the town manager to sign the memorandum of understanding between the Southwest Harbor Tremont Ambulance Service and the town of Tremont.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the town manager to sign the memorandum of understanding between the Southwest Harbor Tremont Ambulance Service and the town of Tremont. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Yeah, really, we appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you.
Okay, League of Towns Non-Emergency Mutual Aid Agreement. I'll let you kind of explain that, Jesse.
Yep, so the League of Towns have had for many years a mutual aid agreement for emergency purposes such as public works, and of course fire and all of those things. But after the town of Tremont and the town of Mount Desert formulated that memorandum of understanding with the code officer position last fall, the chair, Derlin Lunt, brought up on the League of Towns agenda whether or not the league wanted to consider a mutual aid agreement for those non-emergency purposes such as code enforcement, general assistance, tax collection, town clerk, public works, and animal control. Basically, if either town experiences a sudden loss of one of those, but they're working to replace them and need coverage for, a couple weeks or a month or so. The process that we went through with Mount Desert worked out, but it takes, up to a month or more, attorneys drafting things and going back and forth between the boards, whereas the MOU between the League of Towns is an immediate, you just notify the other town, or whichever towns may have one available. So they asked me to look at just reworking the emergency agreement to make it a non-emergency and reflect those situations. So that is the draft before you. At the last League of Towns meeting, there was a general consensus that everyone was happy with the way it looked, and if we wanted to bring it to our boards or councils for consideration to put on the next agenda.
How many towns does it go out to, potentially?
It is all the island towns, Swans Island, Cranberry, Trenton, Ellsworth, Hancock, no, not Hancock, somewhere.
Does it look like all the towns want to sign on to this?
Nobody expressed that they didn't,
Okay.
yet anyway.
So that'd be a pretty good pool of people if we could get that. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I do.
Looks
Yeah,
good.
even if you had half the towns agree to
Yeah.
it, that
Yeah.
would be
Right.
pretty helpful a
Yeah.
lot of times, I think.
So I don't think we're the only ones that are having trouble staffing sometimes, so.
No, no.
No,
I
that
think it makes a
sounds,
lot of sense.
yeah,
Is
sounds good
there-
to me.
And I think I read in here, the towns just agree upon how long they can give someone up or whatever.
Yep, yep, that would be agreed upon, when it goes into effect.
I make a motion to adopt and sign the mutual aid agreement between the municipalities of the Acadia League of Towns for non-emergency services.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt and sign the mutual aid agreement between the municipalities of Acadia League of Towns for non-emergency services. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
a good thing. Next we have Pacific Hall. And Carrie, I see you're here. Would like to use the Pacific Hall for preparing for a book sale. Yep.
Don't see why not.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
that's
We
it.
use it.
Just sitting there, yeah.
Go for it.
You're not gonna have the sale there, Gary, you're just gonna prepare for it there?
We're not gonna have, the sale will be at the library. The issue is that we've got a whole storage shed full of books, and I have to pack them in boxes
Okay.
and be ready for the sale, and I don't really have a good space to do that in.
Yeah.
Pacific Hall would be just ideal.
Mhm.
Then, like a day or two before the fair, we'll just bring everything over.
You
You
know,
have a
see
pickup
some,
truck and you wanna help, just come with boxes.
you know,
He's
see
turned
someone
down
use
in
it.
there now, but does that, I don't know if it matters this time of year.
Oh,
Isn't
I'm fine working in there without heat, that's not,
it? Yeah, right.
Do you need a motion or anything on that, Jesse, or?
I don't think.
No.
No, I kinda mentioned to Jesse at one point too, I think we ought to have a discussion on what we're gonna do with that building.
Yeah.
I sat in on, Maine Municipal put on a webinar, this must be close to 2 months ago now, talking about affordable housing and workforce housing, and it kind of occurred to me, they're really willing, they've got a lot of grant money they can put out if, the town's willing to do something, and they're willing to use whatever equity you've got in a project to be the town's share. So we could probably get enough grant money to turn that into residential units, a couple of them or something.
As long as
It's just a
the
thought.
town's not the landlord.
Yeah.
What's that?
As long as the town's not the
Well, I'm
landlord.
kinda hoping someone else can manage that part of it. But again, it's just sitting there empty, and it seems like that would be a good use for it, and there is definitely a screaming need for that around
Yeah.
here. And again, it's just a suggestion, but I thought it'd be good to get the conversation going again on what to do with that building, because having it just sitting there empty seems kinda ridiculous.
Last time we talked about this, wasn't Morgan Churchman looking into a parking thing, or did I make that up? Did we ever get an answer back?
No.
about- Okay,
He's still working on it.
okay.
I know previously, I believe Chris had reached out to Island Housing Trust if they had an interest, and they did not at the time. But I think, potentially what Kevin's referring to, you know, the Main State Housing does have a lot of funds for municipal sponsored or led housing.
The director was sitting in on that webinar I was on, and he made it very clear they were very open to trying to make things work. You know, again, knowing what the housing shortage is like, especially in our area, but it's a statewide problem anyway.
I know,
But
it'd be
it's
nice if you could do it at a town level, you know, do the improvements or whatever you had to do, and then sell it, or however that would
Yeah.
transfer into, so it could never be anything but, you know,
Housing.
affordable
Yeah.
housing, and
Yeah.
then, yeah, but we just wouldn't
Well,
own it.
you know,
That's
yeah,
all.
yeah.
But, I wonder how Morgan would feel about that. I mean, it's something
Well, I
that we
mean,
should
it's-
run by
yeah,
him, because I know he has first
First
refusal.
refusal.
Yeah.
But he kinda, from what I understood, had some, like, ideas of how he wanted the space to be used, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it
We
would be
have-
nice to use it anyway, I guess
Yeah.
that was my point. Do something with it.
We have
Not
failed at
that
everything
Jesse's
so
ever
far.
gonna be able to leave, but if we ever had to hire another town manager or something, providing housing would be a real big,
Yeah.
you know. Jesse can't leave, so that won't happen, but. But I mean, something like that too, it might help hiring someone for the town if we had housing for them. Cause I understand the new town manager in Bar Harbor's having just that issue, but anyway.
It could
Just-
be,
just
it
a
could
thought.
be something that, you know, if the town through Main State Housing was able to renovate and improve it,
Mhm.
at that point, it could be something Island Housing Trust may
Yeah.
take over.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they might not wanna be involved in converting it to
Yeah.
housing, but
Yeah.
they may take it over and
Yeah, I just think there's some options like that might be worth looking at.
Did you talk to the people at Mount Sur 365?
I don't believe so.
Kathy Miller?
Aren't they just Mount Desert? I don't know, are they reaching out beyond the town?
I think they'll consider other options. You could ask her.
Yeah, I know Kathy, I've
She's
talked to her.
friendly.
Yeah, I know Kathy.
No, it's a good idea, and I think it would be great as long as we don't have to be the landlords.
No, I don't wanna
As long as-
Right. I
Yeah,
don't
if we
wanna
could
be a
figure out a way
landlord.
to get it to that point and Morgan be okay with it, and then transfer it somehow, that
Yeah.
would be,
Yeah.
be great to see it
Might be able
used.
to get it back on the tax rolls.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. So nothing on that, you don't need anything for motions on that, Jesse?
Not unless you wanna make a specific request.
No.
One thing I think is possibly speak to Morgan Churchman, see how he feels about it.
Yeah.
And then maybe we could, you know, at that point, if it's not gonna be an issue with him, maybe we could look into
Mhm.
Yeah.
maybe
Or if
some
he
of the
wants to-
grants and see what's available.
If he wants to come sit in on a meeting again, we could
Yeah.
have him come in and throw some ideas around like we did before.
But it looks like making it a commercial use is pretty much off the table.
Yep.
So, I mean, that kinda leaves residential.
Mhm. Yep, okay.
Well, it has been used in the past for weddings, birthday parties, concert ins, you know.
Yeah, the problem is parking
tag sale,
spaces.
You know, kind of the way the school gym is used for, well,
Yep.
Yeah.
it's obviously not for
Yeah,
school
the
gym.
problem it runs into, Carrie, is there's not enough parking spaces to do it
I know,
legally.
it's the parking is the big
Yeah.
problem,
Yeah.
you know.
So, I mean, I think it's okay if someone snuck one in once in a while, but I think if we actually started doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, you let it be known that you're gonna let it be used as that. There's an entire wedding industry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
People
exactly.
come here from all over the United States to have their wedding.
All right, next thing we have is cemetery mowing contract. And I know you have, it's probably a good idea, we've looked at this in the past as well, but possibly have someone come mow everything to lighten up the load on the crew a little bit.
Yeah, so we put in the FY '23 budget, funds for a contract, for contracting out cemetery mowing. As we discussed earlier, in the budget meetings. Public Works spends approximately 40 hours of their week when it's peak grass growing season, especially if it's wet like last year. So it would free up a lot of their time to focus on road projects and other projects around town. The bid, I drafted the bid spec proposal. These funds, as you know, won't get approved until town meeting on the 10th, if they're approved. And they would be for July 1st forward, for FY '23. I feel if we wait until either of those deadlines to request bids, then we'll be too late to get any, for this season. The bid specs, the way they're drafted, has the bids being returned no later than May 11th, and you would be awarding it May 16th, so the funds would be approved by the time you award it. Based on what the bids come in as, you'd have to determine whether or not we can pay for the June portion of it with FY '22 funds, since it's not in that budget current. I would imagine it would be low enough that you could use contingency funds to cover that month. But we could also discuss whether or not Public Works has to do it until July 1st.
Now, when we looked at this before, and I think the prices actually came back reasonable too. I believe there was an issue with the bidding process, and it just,
One of
It got
them,
jumbled
the
around.
previous time, from looking at the records, one was returned as a flat rate, which is what we're asking for and what we asked for last time. And one was returned as an hourly rate, with no amount of hours, just
Mhm.
an hourly rate, so.
Yep.
And so nothing was awarded at that time,
Yep.
for whatever reason.
And so you get them, so they have to visit and talk with you anyway,
Yeah,
so we can make sure they produce the same
Yep.
format of bids, I guess.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
I'll make a motion to authorize the town manager to solicit bids as specified for cemetery mowing contract.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the town manager to solicit bids as specified for a cemetery mowing contract. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right.
Thank you all.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank
I
you.
need to stack my cards
Okay.
for you guys, so thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, next we have the portable toilet contract.
So with the portable toilet contract, the amount of rental for the year is over $5,000, so that does require it going out to bid. The purchasing policy does allow, if the price remains the same, you can negotiate to renew that contract, which is what's happened the last 2 years with the portable toilets. It's just been renewed at the same price. This year, due to the increased cost of fuel and everything else, they aren't able to hold that same price. So that would trigger going out to bid again, unless we want to waive that purchasing policy and not go out to bid. But I have drafted the request for bids. I would anticipate that at least the one that we contract with would return the bid form, so it might just be easiest to just follow the steps and go that route, but it's up to you.
Yeah, I think put it out for bid soon.
Yeah, I think we might as well bid it.
You know, the only thing that I worry about, well, there's not many companies around doing it locally anymore. There's only 2, really.
Yeah.
And we've had such good luck with it, and I'm sure, I don't know, sometimes it's,
Right, I mean, they
you're,
tend to do it pretty well, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I know, there's only one, Ray Plumbing ain't gonna come down here cheaper than what they're doing it for.
Mhm.
And from what I hear, the other outfit isn't interested in it, so pretty much leaves
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How much was the price increase?
Per pump,
Okay.
$5.
per pump,
Yeah.
so,
That's once a week, right?
once a week, sometimes twice a week at the wharf, per unit.
Tom, how many are
Four
there?
units. One at Back Beach, one at the wharf, and two at Silver Cove.
So it's $20 a week, or unless it's extra pump,
Right.
I'll just approve it.
That's what, it just, when I was thinking about it, it's like the paperwork and the hassle for everybody to go through.
For some reason, I was thinking there were more than that around, it's like, no.
I'll make a motion to request the town manager to amend the portable toilet contract request for bids.
Second.
Usually,
No.
No, if you
just need a
don't,
motion to waive the purchasing policy and award the contract to NJ for
for what I'm,
Put it up.
hang on a second, let me write it
That's what
down.
I meant to say.
That's what he meant to say.
Yeah, yeah. For what amount, Jesse?
You just
Uh,
waive the purchasing
Oh,
policy.
just waive it and,
Yeah,
okay.
and I'll bring you back the contract at the
Okay.
next meeting.
That's what you meant to say, wasn't it?
That's
Yeah,
what I meant
that's
to
what he
say,
said,
yeah.
yep. Did someone second that?
I did, yeah.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to waive the purchasing policy and to award the contract to MDI Porta Potties for our portable toilet rentals. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, next we have a municipal release deed.
That's all been paid?
Yeah.
Good time.
I'll make a motion to sign the municipal release deed between the inhabitants of town of Tremont and Lynette K. Brown for the property shown on Tremont tax map 7, lot 25B.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to sign the municipal release deed between the inhabitants of town of Tremont and Lynette K. Brown for the property shown on Tremont tax map 7 as lot 25B. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes.
may say a little bit about this.
Okay.
I wanna say that Katie did a fabulous job to keep pushing this over the years, and I am so glad. After, I've been here 23 years. This guy was a problem 2 or 3 years before I got here, so it's well over 25 years. I am glad that Katie did good work on it, that this woman bought it, I'm so relieved. Hopefully this will go away. And
Let's-
whoever
let's
now
hope.
has it will pay their taxes and clean up some of that environmental mess. So this is a great day for me personally,
Okay.
and I think a pretty good day for the town too. And good work, Katie, good work.
Let's hope.
Yeah. All right, next we have the town manager's report.
All right. Over the last week, I worked on the harbor planning grant and got that submitted, prepped for the March 31st select board meeting, updated the budget pages following that meeting, typed up League of Town minutes, checked on Pacific Hall, worked on typing up ARPA memos for staff and third parties, prepared the agenda and notices for the Board of Appeals meeting last week, worked on the SAM.gov renewed our property and casualty insurance, worked on the cemetery mowing bid specs and the portable toilet bids. The office staff, the clerk worked on tax acquired property follow-up and the warrants posted around town for town meeting. Public Works was busy treating roads, replacing stop sign at Bernard and Rice Road, changed the oil in the Bobcat, replaced Kellytown Road sign on the north end, sign cleanup in the Public Works garage. The plow and sander were taken out of truck 9. Truck 9 was washed and swapped to winter and summer tires. The steamer trailer had some maintenance done on it. They spent much of last week doing yard cleanup around and out back of the Public Works garage and into the tent. The temporary stop sign was placed up on Kellytown Road. removed a tree, and they removed a tree on the north end of Cape Road. Harbor Master, was busy with conversations with a lot of residents regarding the marina project at Thurston. Put new non-skid, on the ferry terminal float ramp, and new air bars, new rub rails on the Seal Cove floats. Called AC Parsons about a damaged, shrub at the wharf. Worked on the ferry terminal floats, cleaned up traps at the town garage. Worked on the heater at the Harbor Master shack, talked with fishermen about trap storage on the dock. Repaired, Public Works to repair the steam trailer. Pressure washed floats in Seal Cove and removed old rub rails. Checked the Seal Cove floats. Went through Harbor Master stuff at the town garage and reported a grounded baby seal. Over the next week, I will be attending an ARPA reporting training on Zoom, working on the financial reports, and attending this week's Board of Appeals meeting.
Okay, thank you, Jesse.
I got one question too, I meant to ask on the warrants. The ARPA bonuses have been paid, right?
Yeah.
That's why that's what I figured that was. Thanks.
All right, next meeting date.
I'll make a motion to confirm the date of the next meeting for Tuesday, April 19th, 2022 at 5 p.m. at the town office.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to confirm the date of the next meeting for Tuesday, April 19th, 2022, 5 p.m. at the town office. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Next, we have an executive session. Don't forget about my packet here, Katie, right? We have an executive session, on consultation with legal counsel.
I make a motion to go into executive session for consultation between the board and its attorney concerning pending or completed litigation as permitted by 1 MRSA, section 405.6.e.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session under consultation with legal counsel as read by Kevin. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, hang on, camera's gonna be rolling. We're up?
Yeah.
All right, we are out of executive session. We have another executive session entitled Personnel Matters.
You got it?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session to find that public discussion of these personnel matters could be reasonably expected to cause damage to the employee's reputation and or to violate the employee's privacy rights, and therefore to go into executive session to discuss the employment, appointment, assignment, duties, promotion, demotion, compensation, evaluation, disciplining, resignation, and or dismissal of an individual or group of public officials, appointees, or employees as permitted by 1 MRSA 405.6.a.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session titled Personnel Matters as read by Mackenzie. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
I'm away next week, school vacation.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Okay, we're out of executive session. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
So we're supposed to just leave these for you, Jesse?
Works for me, Eric.
For you forward then at your house, you bring them in like once every 3 months.